Buenos dias, everyone. Good morning and happy Thursday. I am Teacher Catalina. I hope you're having a great Thursday. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Don't forget. I know sometimes I forget about those things, but we need to make sure that we remember. As a matter of fact, happy Valentine's to all of my friends, my subscribers, my family, anybody that's watching. And you know what? Share the love, please. Go ahead and click subscribe, and I would be happy. And hit that like button. So welcome to my home, my office, my classroom, or whatever it has to be, depending on the day. In my channel, I am mostly going to be sharing Spanish lessons, but I also want to share with you some of the things that I've learned as a teacher and honestly as a human being. Some of them being tech tools that you could use in your classroom, in your life, as a parent, as a person, as a friend, classroom projects, and any other crazy idea that I can come up with that I think will be useful to you. Cafecito with Teacher Catalina will be my daily way of sharing a cup of coffee with you. Of course, I'm going to be drinking Colombian coffee. So let's go ahead and have our first cafecito together. My name is Catalina and I was born in Colombia. When I was 16 years old, we moved to the United States, my family and I didn't speak a word of English. When I say not a word of English, I mean not a word of English. They brought me into one of these huge high schools that to me seemed extremely big compared to any other school I had been to, and nobody spoke Spanish at that time. So I know I have a little bit of an accent in English, but after all, Spanish is my native language. However, I know what it feels to learn a foreign language. I know what it feels to learn another language and how challenging it can be at times. But if I can learn English, you can certainly learn Spanish. Did you know that English is one of the hardest languages to learn?
There is no egg and eggplant, nor ham and hamburger, neither apple nor pine in pineapple. Quicksand works slowly, boxing rings are square, and a guinea pig is neither from Guinea nor it is a pig. And why is it that writers write, but fingers don't think, grocers don't gross, and hammers don't ham? If you have a bunch of odds and ends and get rid of all but one of them, what do you call it? Is it an odd or an end? In what kind of language do people recite at a play and play at a recital? Ship by truck and send cargo by ship? Have noses that run and feet that smell?
I became a teacher because my English teacher in high school, Mrs. Gutierrez, shout out to Mrs. Gutierrez, really had a tremendous impact on me, and I wanted to radiate that impact onto my students. So when I graduated high school, I went on to college to continue studying, and I majored in foreign language education with a specialization in Spanish. While I was in college, I really wanted to share my love for the Spanish language. So I volunteered at a local elementary school teaching Spanish. I was also interning at a middle and a high school as part of my program. And later on, I also became a teacher assistant at a pre-kindergarten. Once I graduated, my first job was as a middle school 8th grade Spanish teacher at a brand new school. I remember the first day was terrifying. Actually, the whole year was terrifying. So I want to share some of those memories, some of those classroom management techniques, ideas to keep your students engaged, and ways to survive as a first-year teacher. And we will do that in different episodes. As my teacher career progressed, I really found the need to include awesome tools and technology into my classroom, which is why I went back to school and got a master's on education, media, design, and technology. At that time, schools were still afraid to allow students to use some of these tech tools because we didn't know how they were going to react or what they could do. But I wanted to make sure that I was at the same level of my students and bring their interest into my classroom. I created a variety of projects using Facebook, a tool that was called Ning, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. and I will be sharing some of those with you. When I started implementing all of these things and using some of these tech tools, I saw a tremendous engagement and improvement in my classroom and in my students. And everybody around me saw it too. That year, I was named Teacher of the Year, and I also made it all the way up to the semifinals. Due to my interest in technology, I was able to transition from the traditional brick and mortar classroom into the world of virtual online education. During this transition, I became a first-year teacher again, trying to reach my students via screen, via a phone call, or a text message was something new that I needed to learn. So it was like those nerves from that first year teaching were back all over again. Those challenges came back. And so I want to, again, share some of those memories and some of the things that I learned during that time with you as well. As I continue to explore the world of virtual education, my peers, my students, the parents, and administration also recognize me as Teacher of the Year for the second time because of my connection with my students. As I became more proficient in the world of virtual education, I found myself wanting to learn more about the behind the scenes. So I enrolled in school one more time, and I majored in educational leadership. Once I graduated and received my master's in educational leadership, I did think that I wanted to go into administration and managing a school. But I quickly realized that my heart truly is with my students and with teaching. So I am here with you today. So I promised you a video tour of my office, my home, my life. So here we go. This is our latest edition where we create a lot of the school projects, edit these crazy videos that we share with you, and do a lot of fun stuff to share with the world. I love reading. My whole family loves reading. So there are tons of books, of course, in English and Spanish all over our house. And now let me kind of walk you towards the area where I have a different part of my office, which is where I do a lot of the schoolwork for my students. And this is the office that Boss has created for me. Amazing woodwork, just kind of making sure that everything looks comfortable and wonderful. And this is my school computer. I do keep things separately. That way, everything is safe and secure. Lots of props, lots of things that I use, and a beautiful view outside of my office. And what's really cool is that in the morning, if I'm working super early, there are tons of deers that show up, and it's so cool to be able to see them. So that's it. I hope that you enjoy the tour and that you have gotten some ideas. So I hope you enjoyed our first cafecito together. Looks like I'm almost out of coffee. And that you join us again tomorrow for another cafecito time.